The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Coming up tonight, additional fees to take effect every 2 years as it relates to your NIB contributions. Well, that's not sitting too well with many of you tonight. Meanwhile, this story, the government giving away permanent residency for only $500. Bahamian social media outraged all day today, saying the government is giving away the country to Haitians. We talk about it with Louis Georges tonight. Also tonight, Michael Alcides responds to calls for his resignation. Is he minded to heed those calls? And the F&M says no convention until next year. We talk about that as well. It's all straight ahead for you tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, a change is coming to paychecks for thousands of Bahamian workers and the businesses that employ them. Beginning next month, both employees and employers will be required to contribute more to the National Insurance Board as officials move to shore up the Social Security Fund amid growing demands on the system. Many believe this is a new tax. And we're going to start right there this evening. What are your thoughts? Is this a new tax? Were you blindsided, you feel? Well, a lot of you are expressing just this sentiment on social media all day today. We're going to get into it right now this evening with NIB's director, an executive director at the National Insurance Board, Tammy Francis. Ms. Francis, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Ms. Francis, I know you've heard the people. The people are saying, first of all, when they could see you here and they hear stuff like this, they see the headlines, they see the social media discussions and debates, like what are you all thinking? Where are you all coming with this new tax again to saddle and put on the backs of the Bahamian people to create yet another burden?
Well, good evening, Bahamas. I think it is fitting for me to open with letting everyone know that this is not a contribution rate increase. And what that means is this increase does not affect all workers in the Bahamas. This will only affect a few, and I would say 18% of the persons who contribute into national insurance. The other 82%, they will not be affected.
So you are saying whatever increases it is that we are about to describe and talk about, they will not affect the majority of the working population.
Correct.
Now, what about those persons who were just so happy the last term of this administration when their minimum wage was increased? I think it's around $260 a week. Does this apply to them?
This does not affect them at all. So whatever they would have been paying into national insurance yesterday, as of July 1st, 2026, they will continue to pay the same amount. So nothing is going to change for them.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
Now, you all heard that. This does not affect you if you are paid weekly on a minimum wage or anywhere in that category. It does not affect you. Whatever this sort of additional fee that will be paid and every 2 years increase doesn't apply to you. Who does it apply to?
So I think it's very important that I say this. In July of 2024, we had two specific things happening at National Insurance. We had our contribution rate increase that affects all workers. We also had what we call, and I'll say it slowly, a biennial insurable wage increase. Or we're saying that every 2 years, we are mandated by law to increase the amount that the $810 per week that you pay on international insurance, we're going to increase that every 2 years. Now, what that causes is those persons who may be higher paid, that makes their payments international insurance a little bit more relevant in that they are able to receive benefits that are would be closer to what they are receiving.
So one, this increase or this now, how you pronounce that, biennial?
Biennial.
Biennial increase will reflect what those salaries are. And then by extension, the persons in that bracket, in the US they would call it tax bracket, in that income bracket would then benefit even greater from national insurance.
Yes.
Okay, let's break that down. Now, is this is not the same increases whether it's every 2 years or anything that Alfred Sears would have talked about a couple years ago?
Yeah, it's just coincidental that it's the same 1.5%. So I think people may be looking at it as the same thing. So again, we would have had several recommendations made, and the government took the step of increasing the contribution rate. That affected everybody. But right now, what we are doing is ensuring that when you and I retire, or if you are sick, or you have a baby, we're ensuring that the cost of living, as that changes, the value, your spending value that you would have had today, we ensure that it is not increased ad hocly. We have legislated increases, and we're ensuring that at the end of the day, that whatever you are paying and you're going to be paying on is actually is going to give you a little bit more that, like I said, that is closer to what you would have been making.
And what you are sort of used to. For example, talk about the mother on maternity leave or who has just given birth.
So let me take it all the way back to give you an idea. Today, we have a maternity grant of $560. What this initiative is going to do is increase that $560 for that mother who would have had the child, maternity grant. And what maternity grant, let me explain that as well. What the maternity grant is, it's a one-time payment to a mother who has had a live birth, right? Now, in order to qualify for that, you would have to have paid into national insurance about a year. So that's about 50 contributions, right? And if you do not have those 50 contributions and you're married and your husband has the 50 contributions,
you still benefit.
Yes.
Oh, that is excellent.
You're able to get that payment.
Yes.
So that $560, that's today, will increase to $570. So you will see over time, I remember way back when it was around 250, and now you see it increasing. So you have had, and I took a look at it. What has been happening since the inception of national insurance? These increases would have taken, on average, 13 to 14 years to happen. But because we have this mandated, legislated, automatic increase, this now happens every 2 years. So we are ensuring that we're looking at what's happening with regards to cost of living.
Right.
And we're ensuring that we keep your payment, or we keep your benefits rather, relevant to you, as opposed to us making a decision out of crisis. But this is every 2 years. Think about it. National insurance every 2 years is going to ensure that these benefits
match
increasing.
with exactly, for example, you hear people talk about inflation, the cost of living,
Right.
and this and that. And right now, you may be sort of outpaced by what's happening. So this allows you to catch up and keep pace. That's why the increase is every 2 years, so that you are there where that person is and their income, their wages. And so what they're used to, that sort of standard of living, quality of life, they will benefit or be given a grant on that level.
Right. And just think about it. I'll use my mother, for example. She would have received her pension maybe about 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. The price of bread, with her pension, then she may have been able to afford that price of loaf of bread. But today, if her pension remained or stayed what it was back when, she may not be able to afford that loaf of bread. So we have to ensure that we have to look at it in terms of spending, especially for our pensioners. You have 50,000 pensioners. We're paying every month, on average, $34 million every month. Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
okay.
and as we look at these increases, I know many people, of course, yeah, we don't want an increase, but we have to really take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because in terms of I want to ensure that when I retire, there's something there for me.
I was about to ask you about that because there's been so much talk about the fund, meaning NIB, being drained and the fund not being able to be sustainable for much longer because of the demands and the increased demands on it. This kind of this biennial
Yes.
increase sort of helps with ensuring that the fund is there for many years to come.
What is important is we have to remember that no one measure is going to be the savior for the fund. So we have to compile several methods together so that they work in tandem to get us where we need to be. So our goal is long-term sustainability. So we have several measures that may give us short-term, medium-term, but the ultimate goal is to get there in the long term, so
Right.
that later on when you and I get there,
The fund is there.
exactly.
The fund is there
Exactly.
to help us and assist. I mean, and social security measures are nothing new for any nation. We used to hearing it maybe called different things. For example, the United States, social security. But this is what this is. And so therefore we have heard for decades now the need to shore up this fund, meaning the NIB.
Now, see, it's also too, it's important, the work we do is solidarity. It is solidarity. And the best way I explain it to many of the Gen Z workers of national insurance so that they can understand it. What is solidarity for NIB? We have the well, they pay for the sick. The employed pays for the unemployed. The young
Pay for the old.
pays for the old, and so on and so on and so on. So at the end of the day, we are ensuring that what you are expecting at the end of your work life, there's something there for you. So, like I said earlier, no one person or the employers may not want the increase, but let me quantify it for you. So for our employees, this increase for those persons who make more than $810,
yes.
let's take it to the $830. They will be paying into national insurance with this increase 93 cents more per week.
So it's still not something that's leaning so heavily on their income. What is that increase again that'll happen come July 1st and every 2 years moving forward?
So right now it's just the 1.5%, but you have for the employee that represents who would be at the $830.
Yes.
That will represent an additional 93 cents per week.
So less than $1 additionally to what they already pay.
That's 4 minutes.
What is it?
4 minutes. And for the employer, $1.33 more per week. Right? And with that, with $1.33 more per week, you really have to take a look at the end of the day, this is going to help us to be able to continue paying our beneficiaries as well.
It's like an investment into the future. I love that because I want you to go back and talk about the pensioners and talk about new pensioners. Okay, well, us investing into retirement. This is sort of what allows you that opportunity as well, and to benefit on the level that you are accustomed to in terms of matching the pay you would have earned throughout the years on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a good thing for workers. When you think about it. For me, at the end of the day, I would want it to increase a lot more. Not saying if God forbid, I fall ill, I would want my payment to be very close to my weekly earnings,
right, your earnings,
as much as possible.
And this is what this is kind of sort of seeking to do. And I imagine every 2 years, once those increases take shape and it's sort of tweaked, it will eventually sort of match and in terms of look similar to what you've been earning. There's also something obviously for end of life. Families will benefit and receive greater benefit as well, where it's able to help them and help the grief process. There's also, of course, and I spoke of that, but workers, of course, again, as we said, this is for those on that threshold right there. You saw that. That is 800, earning more than $830, somewhere around there. This increase only applies to them. Minimum wage workers will not be impacted. This does not apply to you. And of course, once you get there, then you'll be happy to be able to make this sort of investment into how your future will look, and if in the need to kind of take advantage of NIB from time to time, then you'll be able to feel better getting that benefit. Anything else you would like to say as we wrap up?
I would say this. I want everyone to understand that at the end of the day, this is shared security. Shared security. I spoke about solidarity. So,
shared security.
Yes, shared security. So the workers, you're going to contribute a little bit more. Employers, you're going to contribute a little bit more. But guess what? Together, what that does, that helps to keep our system stable for all of us who depend on it. So I think it is a good thing. And I would say take some time to really listen to what has been put out there today to get an understanding. We're not trying to tax everyone. We're just trying to ensure that whatever you are receiving is more so relevant. And at the end of the day, we are ensuring that those precious pearls, they are valued and they are covered, and we are dealing with them with a level of fairness.
Thank you very much, Tammy Francis, for coming and speaking to. I mean, the minute this went out there as a headline, NIB executives came and wanting to make you, number one, more relaxed and comfortable with this announcement, and for you to have a better understanding, one, that it doesn't impact the average person, it impacts people who earn in a different category, and then the benefits from having to pay less than $1 more of what they, in addition to what they've already been paying, the added benefits that come with that. Thank you very much for being here, Madam Director. Good to see you once again.
Thank you.
When we come back, is the Davis administration giving away permanent residency? That's right, you heard it. It's all over social media. People are livid. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of this tonight, right after the break. Stay close.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
Here at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store, we believe in our prices. That's why we offer our price match guarantee. If you find any of our items being sold for a lower price at any of our competitors, whether that's online or in store, let us know about it and we'll beat the price right there on the spot. No one does it like CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
My name is Charles Wesley Rowe. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you all tuned in this evening. We're going to get right into another story that's had many of you talking and discussing angry today. And it's this. The Davis administration is proposing a significant change to the country's nationality laws. Under the Bahamas Nationality Amendment Bill 2026, individuals who qualify for citizenship but are denied could still be granted permanent residency, making life a whole lot easier for them in the Bahamas. It's the proposal to change the fee structure from the once $50 an application to now $500 an application, something that's been happening, I imagine, since before independence. But that has so many Bahamians very angry today. The thought is that the government is giving away our sovereignty. Well, Bahamians, of course, we're going to get to that. Outspoken advocate, a noted, I guess, just voice really on all things, whether it's Haitian human rights and getting people educated and understanding exactly their rights and what comes with that here in the Bahamas, is Luby Georges. Luby, good evening to you. It's good to have you here. Good to have you. I haven't seen you on the show in a minute, but it's good to have you here, Luby. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Shanika, and good evening, Bahamas. It's been quite a while.
It's been a minute. Luby, but are you surprised at the outrage? I mean, first of all, let's just kind of explain this $50 to $500 because people feel as though, wait a minute, are you all saying that people can become permanent residents, and they really mean Haitians, permanent residents of the Bahamas for only $500?
Well, opening salvo, and before I start, I want to send a special shout out to the great people of St. Anne's and also Senator, the great Kino Wong, who is tuned in with his family and team. So good evening to the people of St. Anne's and Senator Kino Wong. You, in your opening statement, spoke about the fee scale of $50, which is being proposed now to be amended and changed to $500. Mm-hmm. That is a significant jump. Mm-hmm. I would think that people would be clapping hooray for that. Mm-hmm. Let us be clear. This amendment changes nothing as it relates to the Constitution. It changes nothing as it relates to the Nationality Act. It changes nothing as it relates to the Immigration Act, aside from and except from the fee scale for persons who were ordinarily eligible. Right. To apply for citizenship.
So these people are already in a different category. They ain't just the average person who woke up today and say, let me go be a permanent resident. No, they kind of almost already qualified because of being eligible for citizenship.
The Constitution, the Nationality Act already outlines who are eligible. You can go right now on Google. I would encourage everyone to do so. Go on the Department of Immigration's website. You can go to citizenship, residency, all of the various services and permits, and you will see at the very top, it speaks to who are automatically Bahamian citizen. So for persons like yourself being born in the Bahamas, do Bahamian parents, yada, yada. It also goes down and speaks to who are eligible to apply for citizenship, and it breaks down those different categories of individuals. Mm-hmm. So again, these are persons who are already eligible to apply for citizenship.
And somehow already in the system, because it goes further to say the minister, or for whatever reason, they were denied or the approval was not granted.
Yeah.
So therefore, they were kind of steered in the direction of permanent residency.
And again, Shanique, this is nothing new. That's the crazy part, which I don't understand. You know, I don't, and let me preface everything I'm saying again. I should have started with this. I don't work for the government. I've never had a government job before.
Hold
so
on,
I don't speak.
you ain't no consultant or something like, because
I'm a private consultant. I don't speak on behalf of the government. I also do not speak on behalf of the PLP. But we have to speak sense and we have to speak facts. We can agree or disagree. All right? Let us debate what the actual amendment is proposing to do, and not what we imagine it is doing.
You know, we've seen everything there, Luby, and I want people to understand as well. It's proposing right now to do one thing.
One thing
and
only.
that is perhaps since before independence, whomever qualified were paying $50 per application for permanent residency, and what is being proposed is this, that $50 be increased to $500.
So you would have persons who would pay the processing fees and provide the documents to satisfy the application process. They would go through the application process. You would have the interview, you would have the test, you would have all of these things happen, the back, investigations going on. And if, for whatever reason, the minister, the cabinet, whomever, decides that, you know what, you're not ready for citizenship, they then, and this has been practiced under the FNM, and under the PLP, that guess what? Hey, today we do not find that you are eligible or should be approved for citizenship. So, in lieu of that, we're going to offer you permanent residency because you already had a claim to citizenship.
Right.
Let us not forget that part. These are persons who are eligible as per the Constitution of this country for citizenship already. You're talking about not just persons born to foreign parents in the country. You're talking about Bahamian women who may have married a foreign man
yes,
and had a child abroad. You're talking about women who married Bahamian men.
There's so many different categories that someone finds themselves in the Bahamas eligible for citizenship.
Eligible.
And can be granted or denied.
We cannot state that piece of fact enough. These, again, are persons who were already, as per the Constitution, Articles 5, 7, 9, 10, I think it is, already eligible to apply and to receive citizenship. You may fail your test. You don't know the national this and the national that, and who wrote the national anthem and who's the first governor general. Maybe you don't know the pledge and you failed the test, maybe. Maybe it's a 60% you may have to receive on the test and you failed that with 55. Okay, you didn't pass the test. So guess what? We'll give you permanent residency. Check us back in another 5 years. And now what the government is saying is that instead of you paying a measly $50,
that's perhaps
we will increase
never
it
been increased
to $500.
Right. Yeah.
Also,
now I want to ask you this though, and while I hope you all are understanding what that is, there's no overhaul to the law, no amendment saying that the people gonna get
none of the laws are changing.
Anybody could get this permanent residency for this
changing.
500. No law is being changed. Exactly. Just one proposal, and that is that. But I want to ask you this: is this some sort of, Luby, a discouragement for people who fit in this category? They qualify, they're going to go and get, they're interested in pursuing the avenue of permanent residency, but they're like, dang, that is more than what, tenfold, this increase? Have you heard any of that?
None at all. I see it as a positive in my personal opinion. I've seen, you have also instances where persons have applied for citizenship, persons born in the country, went to school here, this is the only country they know, yada, yada. You're now an adult, you apply. Let's say that person is refused. Now what is your status?
And that's another question.
You're in a gray area now.
A gray area.
That's an anomaly.
But many have been in that gray area for
Exactly.
decades. What does this do for the person who has been eligible, somehow perhaps denied, missed that window, all the other things that we have heard over the years as why many people weren't processed, but then they can get this? What does this now do for them and their belonging, their future, being able to make real contributions, that type thing?
Not only for them, let's think country-wise. The immigration department is very strict, very detailed on immigration breaches, right? Overstaying, a permit being denied. I'm going to get back to your point. I just want to bring home something.
But I want you to bring this home as well, right while you're bringing that home. Because during the election campaign, a lot was made about, and this administration promised that they're going to do more greater follow-up if you overstay one day. But you're saying many of those measures are already in place and already strict.
They've always been in place. So again, this does not allow for any loopholes or encouragement for persons to, and the proverbial floodgates. This does not apply to that at all. A parent or a mother, father, two persons who decided to enter the Bahamas, whether legally or illegally, should they have a child in the Bahamas, should their status not be up to date, they are still subjected to the immigration regulations that we have in place. Arrest, charge, taken before a court, they can be fined, they can be imprisoned, ultimately they will be deported. And the child that they had in the Bahamas will follow them to their home country. You will go back with them. Now, after some years, through the consulates and embassies or processes that we have in place, they can try to apply for some sort of status on their own as an adult now. And what this says to me is, guess what? You grew up somewhere else. Yes, the Constitution recognizes you, but you ain't Bahamian enough maybe. You're not cultured enough. You didn't school here. The social studies, you didn't do it here. So guess what? Instead of us giving you citizenship, we're going to give you permanent residency. And instead of giving it for $50, you're going to pay $500.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah. I want to ask you, Luby, we just came out of, we know the election seasons and how they are. Sometimes there are themes running throughout each season. Well, this election, immigration was the hot button issue.
It was.
Your thoughts on sort of almost taking the lazy way out, and mind you, not that there isn't an illegal immigration problem. I'm not dismissing that.
There is.
Yes, but I'm saying the fact that immigration, and in particular one set of people, Haitians, were vilified for being the big elephant in the room, and this floodgate, as you mentioned a moment ago, that they were just waiting to do that, and you know,
well, Shanique,
all that
you
going?
know what, to tie it into that, today proved something. Today really verified and confirmed that many of us that are speaking on immigration, at whatever end of the spectrum, that we are not study approved. Many of us have not read the Immigration Act. Many of us have not read the Nationality Act. Many of us have not read and studied the relevant portions of the Constitution that deals with immigration itself also. And so you had two political parties, in my opinion, that were, throwing this immigration thing at the wall and hoping that it would stick and that it would carry them home. I think the FNM piggybacked on the COI. The COI had a lead in that regards. But I think ultimately, though, right-thinking Bahamians didn't get any other, substance from both political parties, and we see what the results were.
Do you believe, as we wrap up, Luby, that this proposed change to the legislation, to the amendment, to the bill, 2026 bill, that it strikes the right balance between sovereignty and human rights?
I think it does. I think it does. Permanent residency could range as far as $25,000 in this country. You know that?
No.
Permanent residency permits can range as far as $25,000. But we are talking about a category of people again that under the Constitution are already eligible to apply. This is not about somebody that came yesterday and
basically
say,
already
went
through the process because they are in the system.
They went through the process, and for some reason or the other, the minister or the cabinet may find that, guess what, citizenship a little bit too much right now. You failed on some, scale, so permanent residency for you. But you'll pay $500 as opposed to $50. This is no new practice. This was done under the FNM. It was done under the PLP, all previous administrations. I know people personally applied for citizenship. They say, no, this was not approved, but we will grant you permanent residency as opposed to citizenship. Here's the fee, $50. Now this government is saying, we can dox you, you can pay $500.
And it's good for the public purse. Tell you,
It is good for the public purse. And also, what it also does, sorry, before we leave, you just had NIB on.
That's right.
It brings these persons now from that gray area
That's right.
into the formal
Into the
economy,
system.
into the
Yes.
formal system.
Yes.
So we can better plan. We know how many people that we have. We know how many beds that we need to plan for. And these persons can now contribute to NIB properly. Because before, if you were denied, but you didn't break any immigration laws because you were born here, you didn't enter illegally, you didn't this, you didn't that, broke no laws. You can't be arrested, you can't be taken before court, you can't be deported, but yet you're not part of the formal economy, the formal society. What this does is bring those persons
people
in
out.
fold,
Yeah,
and they can contribute their fair share in taxes and to society.
Simply, I mean, we talk about getting that fund nice and healthy and new hospitals
these persons
and all
are
the
here.
rest of it, and they are here. So bring them out of the shadows,
Let them pay.
put them there, and let them pay. Like everybody else, absolutely. Luby Georges, thank you very much for being here this evening. Of course, again, an advocate for human rights and other forms of just education is what Luby has made his business outside of his formal work. And so he's been doing this for a number of years, and I thank you for stopping by this evening.
Thank you so much, Janine.
Looking forward to perhaps talking again very soon. Thank you once again, Luby.
All right.
Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to get some opinions. Does the panel agree with everything you heard him say, or the NIB increase? We're going to get to that and a lot more. Remember, the FNM says no convention this year. I'll hear what they have to say about that as well. Beyond the Headlines is backward after this.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in, and we had a lot tonight, right? In just short segments, but still a lot of information very important information at that. I'm going to bring in the Hot Topics panel right now and welcome a new member. I would call you that. I hope that you don't just stop by once and I don't see you again. But a new member, Ruben Ramming, it's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. We do a whole lot here, Ruben. We have fun, we laugh, a bit of satire, but we get about trying to push this nation forward with varying views. And also, of course, Peggy, good evening to you. It's good to have you here as well. And so you all sat through, the NIB, and you heard with that biennial, I think I pronounced that correctly, every 2 years increase for persons of a certain income bracket to be able to, so that they get more from benefits. And then, of course, in the second segment, you heard Luby Georges here speaking about a proposal and something that the government is considering at the moment, which is increasing that $50 application fee for permanent residency to $500. And some people might say it's nothing, but Ruben and Peggy, that created such a chaotic madhouse on social media today, because people were like, this is exactly what we thought that the PLP was going to do if they had won, and obviously they did, and now they're doing it. Your thoughts on just what it is to make what's being proposed to make these people, though, pay more, so that one, the Treasury gets more, and to bring those people out the shadows and get them into officially the way of life and contributing and just being Bahamian.
Good night, Shanique. Good night, Mr. Ramming. Nice to share this platform with you. Good evening, Bahamas. Shanique, I'm going to use the word progressive. I know people will be a little sore, but I think it is a progressive move. But I cannot go any further without addressing the misinformation that I think is intentionally put out there to gaslight Bahamians and anybody else who would participate in the national conversation. I've read comments and headlines that say, oh, they selling citizenship for $500.
Yeah.
And this is poor.
That
this
is
is a tragedy, simply because those who are supposed to be responsible for getting the correct information to advance Bahamians and Bahamians' thinking are using the misfortune of Bahamians, this disdain that has been cultivated by politicians and politics against, especially the Asian nationals, during the campaign season that we just recently been through. And I think individuals are continuing to feed the hostility, to feed the misinformation, to gaslight, to get them angry. Oh, this is what the government is gonna do. Oh, they said they were gonna do it. This is why you all wasn't supposed to vote progress. And you are doing, whoever is responsible for that story, you're doing a disservice to your country. And I will call you most unpatriotic. You have to be responsible. You want a informed set of people. You don't want to use the people as your weapon to bring down a government or make a government look bad.
It's urgent that we educate and be responsible, Ruben. Educate, and on this show, yes, we may laugh about something, but it's important because we saw, for example, just that play out whenever it did, maybe during the election season in terms of the campaign, or maybe when Philip Davis was re-elected, but we saw what happened in Bimini, and I don't know if the lady knew better or not, or if many of us even know the law and protocols as it relates to elected officials like you and a prime minister, and what should happen. And so it's important for us to put the right information out there. Yes, you may have different varying points of view about it, but it's important to at least present it out there so people make up their own minds.
We're just simply too slack. We're too lazy. And that's our problem. And we need to stop following gossip and listen to facts. We got to understand that death and life is in the power of the tongue. And everything you say, you must be accountable for in this world or the next. Mm-hmm. I don't follow the gossip. I don't follow Facebook. I don't even follow politics. I am in politics, but I am Ruben before I am anything else. Because I'm accountable for everything I got to say. So whatever I have to say, I have to believe in or know it to the best of my knowledge, and I leave room for doubt. We follow hype, and it causes problems. First of all, there is a problem with immigration. There is a problem with the Haitian population, but does it rise to the level of hate and disdain? I don't believe in that. I love my Haitians. I love everybody of every ethnicity for the proper reasons that we're supposed to. Then two, we are poorly socialized in this country and we've become soundbite people.
Yes.
And make serious judgments on soundbite.
Yeah.
All my time in the House and in the Senate, you know, the time I wait for to prepare my debates, I wait till I sit in there and I hear the person who's moving and seconding the bill tell me what their bill's supposed to be. Yes, I might have read it and get my interpretation, but how dare I draw a conclusion until I hear the other side? That is critical to judiciary, that's critical to everything else. The lady in Bimini, which you speak to in that regard, poor socializations. Our country is never devoid of a prime minister. In that moment when he says the last word of the oath, the former prime minister demits, and bam, there's never a vacancy in that function. Provost Marshal is only there because the House is dissolved, but cabinet is a different function from the House. That's the executive that runs the country, though the House, the elected body, has been dissolved. And we don't understand these things. The proper protocols of police officers and how they're supposed to salute and respect the prime minister. Once that election happened, I keep saying, that's my prime minister, that's our prime minister, because if he jack up, we lose 5 years. Yes. What part of that you don't understand?
Yes.
Quite frankly, I don't care who it is. I just want a good 5 years. I thought that this guy might do it. I thought this guy may do it. But if you're there, all hands on deck. We look at this matter with immigration again. I ain't got time to sift through all the kind of foolishness and things that I see going on. But the government has a duty of care to communicate.
Yes.
All right? When I first look at it, listen here, this is the Nassau Guardian. This is your own Nassau Guardian. An amendment to the Bahamas Nationality Act would allow the Minister of Immigration for a $500 fee, grant permanent residency to people whose citizenship application has been denied. What would that say?
It says they're giving away the
what it says, what it communicates.
It communicates that
this government
is giving
and
this away.
everyone who speaks, including you and me, when we speak, people should not be out there trying to grasp what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we clearly communicate what is actually being said. Here it is right now. We sit down. And some saying, even Louis said, there is an amendment. Anything that changes an amendment, even a fee is a part of a bill, for God's sake. Yes. So if it changes, there is amendment to the bill.
Yes.
But I heard from you two that some person is saying, they moving it from $50 to $500. Just from my basic understanding, even that ain't true. Because the one fee, which is the lowest fee for $50, relates to the person who qualified under the Constitution to have citizenship. They only pay a token fee of $50. This next category of $500 could not be that. How could it be that if it's for people who should have met the qualification but maybe missed a portion? Say, for instance, the Constitution put a time limit. So you could have everything that qualify you, but you missed the day by a day. Constitutionally, you can't get it because you missed the day. The same way with elections. If you miss the nomination cutoff time, you ain't nominated. All right? And so there is a concession that we see you did qualify, but you didn't apply on your 18th birthday or by your 18th birthday.
Right.
So therefore, we can do this. That is a separate category because the only other two categories in there, the only other one for $500 is the one is for if a married Bahamian couple have a child on the outside, all right, then that person could get this residency for $500. And then the second one separates it from a fact of persons who are non-married that speak to persons and who are that same person, then they do it for $1,000. So this is a category now, looking at it, for persons who meet that standard, then you do this and you do this and you get $500.
Well, I'll tell you, and you know, I'm happy, and this is why, like, for example, many of my panelists are former members of parliament, they are senators, also politicians, those who were seeking office, and those who were educated in other areas. And I love it. You know why? The thoughts that they bring. the information like provided, for example, by Ruben is fantastic. I spoke with Darren Pickstock earlier this evening. He is the state minister for immigration, and I invited him. I'm like, listen, whether it's after the budget, because I know that's the focus now for every minister, but come and explain this, because what you explained and what Ruby said, even up to $25,000
for economic permanent residency.
Right.
So there's categories.
Come and explain all these various categories. You mentioned $1,000 a moment ago as well. These various categories must be explained from the 50 all the way up to the 500 and then beyond. Let us understand it and let the Bahamian people also know that, listen, no, this ain't nothing different and new and giving away and opening a floodgate. This is what this is for those people who are eligible because of birth and
Let's give the
those other
government some
things.
fault then to satisfy the frustrations. All right. Okay, you're wrong. Maybe something as a modest as this, it may be simple to you, but you understood the tone of the election, the concern. You should just take this right after the budget debate, just go ahead and debate it as one solid little separate little thing where you could talk about it. Because the problem with a budget debate is that you signal what is coming before you talk about it substantively. So when it's signaled in the summary by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, of Financial, Michael Alkidas, who would give a summary, he would touch on things and then start a firestorm. Whereas if you had left this to be substantively debated, when it rises, the person who stand on his feet speak directly to it, lay the whole thing out, and before the opposition or anybody else could speak, the seconder come and put the second layer on it, and then the opposition come, and you would have had a better time.
And you're right, because this has been the way we have done budgets. So you give the big headline grabbing pieces, Peggy, and you put these out there, and you're right, people just run with it, and until the substantive minister comes and explains and breaks it down.
Yeah, but I agree with Mr. Rubin. It is you starting fires unnecessarily. And then I want to speak to the situation with Article 7. I think the state minister should have been here tonight. This is important. This is essential, especially when you see the conversation and the heated debates that are taking place based on misinformation. Your responsibility is to immediately correct it. Come speak to the people, because the damage that has been done in the last 24 or 12 hours, I mean, it's going to take, you'll be accused of this until re-election.
Listen,
again.
And Peggy, I said to him, Peggy and Ruben, I said to him, do not be caught in the position of catch up. This term.
You don't catch up with politics.
The social media will leave you so far behind, and your head will be spinning because you will wonder what happened. And so again, Darren Pickstock and any other minister and anybody else, let's talk to the Bahamian people. Meanwhile, you all, I'm not going to call for this soundbite because I really want to get to another story. Finance Minister Michael Alkidas is shutting down suggestions that he could be stepping down. Of course, we all know that people raise concerns and the Free National Movement regarding prior involvement with the construction company that convicted alleged drug dealer Eric Gardner has been associated with. That's Top Notch Builders. Alkidas says that he remains focused on serving effectively in his post as finance minister. And so Peggy and Ruben, Alkidas says he's not going anywhere. He says he has nowhere to go anywhere for. Your thoughts on him coming out and finally speaking to this?
The word you use, finally, communication. Deal with these issues as they arise. Don't allow 3, 4, 5 days of misinformation, of people speculating, calling. I mean, there was a choir going on saying you must resign. It is important. And we talk about reputational risk. You don't want at the first week something hanging over your head that is so transforming of people's opinion of you. And so I'm going to say it publicly. If you all don't protect yourself and communicate, then the damage that will be done to you, you will have to live with it.
Quite frankly, I serve with Michael Alkidas, and I would be lying if I don't look this camera in the eye and say, I really love the man. I respect the man personally. And we battle hard politically. We don't meet personally. I a sense of character. So it was, a lot of us probably feel it, saying, I sure there's a lot of other apples that we'd like to see heads roll. Communication is key. He had an obligation. Life would have been better if, in even his initial declaration, the details reflected what was written in the report. Even if he had said he was the president, that would have been a bit better for him in that regard. But the biggest thing that works against Michael Alkidas was the pronouncement of the Prime Minister when he was in opposition. the standard that he set in opposition is now coming home to roost against Senator Alcides. However, nonetheless, I am looking at that and I'm just saying, God, let me just watch and see exactly how this all roll out. Because I want us to remember, let's all treat everybody the way we expect to be treated. And we want to make sure things are properly adjudicated. So give your thoughts, give everything else, but stay within that proper realm of the fact that I don't know it all, you don't know it all, and let's see what happens and see how the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely,
Do not destroy someone with words that a simple retraction could never undo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been very careful in terms of this whole matter. I mean, of course, obviously discussing Alcides and the calls for his resignation, but very careful because just as you say, let's wait until this all, the information is out there, the trial happens, and we see exactly who's what, who's tied where, and we go from there.
And we're not restricting people's communication, you know.
Yes.
We say and be responsible because
Yeah.
it is juicy. It is news.
Of course it's juicy.
The back and forth. So I'm
Yeah.
not saying you can't even talk about it,
Yeah.
but we still need to get beyond a certain point of where you don't know, then you be quiet.
But that's where I am. I don't know, so I'm quiet. It's as simple as that. Meanwhile, and I know we were supposed to get to the F&M convention. That's coming. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave that. Well, I mean, tonight I'll come out another show, you know. But I want to say this. Our viewer says, I have been married to a Bahamian since 1973. Applied for permanent residency in 1979. It was granted in 1983, at which time the fee was $50. Didn't I say that? Since the time of independence. And so the increase to $500 is only that. So people are happy for the increase, especially those who have gone through it and been through it. They are happy for
But the increase
and
is a
explain
different
it.
category. See,
It's
it's really missing.
categories.
It's a category of persons who did not meet the standard for full citizenship. They are now being accommodated. So it is an adjustment, but
It is
the
an
fee is a small
Minister
thing.
See, Minister Picked up this conversation is happening without you.
Absolutely. He's invited here, and I look forward to having him here so we can discuss that and much more. Meanwhile, though, I thank you, of course, our director at the National Insurance Board, Tammy Francis. Thank you very much for being here this evening. In the middle of the show, Luby Georges. Luby, thank you so much for stopping by this evening as well and speaking on this very emotive topic. Continues to be emotive, which is immigration. And then, of course, Peggy, good to have you here.
Thank
and
you,
Ruben,
thank you.
it's good to welcome you.
Hot topic.
Ruben, you
Putting
fit
the
right
hot
in.
on
Good to welcome
topic.
you, of course. And of course, to all of you tuning in this evening, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.